Hey guys, alright, David here. It is Friday, September 4th, 2009, and it has been way too long since my last What's in My Dock video. So here we go. I'm going to give you a basic tour of my dock and the applications I use almost on a daily basis. And just like last time, I'm going to give you a quick preview of what each app actually looks like. So first up, we obviously have the Finder. For those of you not aware, the Finder is the equivalent, but better, Windows Explorer. This is basically where you browse your files and everything like that. Dictionary, you'll be very surprised at how often I actually use this application. I use this just about every single day of my life. It's very, very useful. We have the built-in dictionary, thesaurus, an actual Apple browser for products. So if I type in iMac, it just says iMac, a line of desktop computers available from Apple Incorporated. iMac computers were introduced in 1998, so it's kind of a cool like Apple history book. And then finally we have Wikipedia. So if I searched, for instance, Apple, it actually shows me the fruit apple as opposed to the company. Here is Mail. This application is a godsend. I use this multiple upon multiple times every single day of my life. This application basically runs my life at the moment. Next up is iCal. I use this to keep track of my sponsors on thecreativeone.tv, birthdays for friends and family, Apple updates, which actually doesn't belong there because I don't use that, and then US holidays, which I got from Apple's site. For instance, it's an automatic calendar that tells you all the holidays. And for example, this upcoming Monday is Labor Day. Very cool. Next up is Safari. We should all know what Safari is by now. This is my default and favorite web browser. Yes, I'm also a Firefox user, but I just find Safari better in my opinion and more useful and definitely more Mac friendly, that's for sure. Well, it is an Apple product, so what do you expect? And as you can see, macrumors.com is my homepage, so it's the best way of keeping up with all Apple and Mac related news. And next up is Firefox. This is usually on my secondary monitor to keep track of other things when I'm doing web development, web design, graphic design, or if I want to keep a close eye on my mobile account, which is youtube.com/thecreativeonemobile. These are videos uploaded straight from my iPhone and nothing more. So that's kind of my secondary browser. And after that we have Adium. Some people say Adium, I say Adium. And it's probably going to launch my buddy list real quick. Oh look, a new version's available. But then again, I haven't been on in probably weeks at least. I don't usually use AIM that often. And after that we have Twirl, in my opinion, the best Twitter application. It's actually over here in my secondary monitor. And give it a second for all the tweets to load up. There you go. There's a quick preview to see any interesting followers you want to, and any interesting people that you might want to follow. So let's close Twirl. That's usually always open, but it's closed for this video's purpose. Next up is Skype. I usually use this to chat with my clients and friends once in a while. It's actually over here again on my secondary monitor, if I can speak. And there we go. What else? Colloquy. This is my favorite chat application. Oh look, a new version of this is even available as well. It's been a while since I've been in my own chat room, besides on the iPhone application. Next up is Espresso, not Expresso as Michael Scott calls it in The Office. Gotta love that show. Espresso is a web development tool used for creating and editing CSS files, CSS and HTML files, and basically seeing a real-time preview. I use this application a lot for editing files for forumbytes.com and the upcoming relaunch of showoffyourmac.com. Great application. I got that part of the Mac Heist bundle. Fetch is my favorite FTP application. I use this for my client work, my personal work, and anything else web development related. Awesome application, and it's free if you're an educational user. You don't really need proof that you're a student, but I was a student at the time of downloading that. And after that is iTunes. If you don't know what iTunes is, then you have been under a rock for the past 5 years or so. So that is iTunes. Yes, quit it. I just synced my iPhone. It's fine. Well, it's still going to load the store, then quit. There it goes. AOL Radio. Here we go. I want to avoid any copyright infringement. This is AOL Radio. They have awesome music. It's totally free. Yes, there are ads, but they need to pay for it somehow, so you got to appreciate that kind of thing. They have hundreds of free stations. My stations I listen to are Video Game Scores, Final Fantasy Radio, Zeros Pop, I guess you call it Zeros, Top Hip Hop, and One Hit Wonders. So as you can see, I have a big variety of music. And then I have stuff up here. I have techno. Actually, it just quit randomly. It does that sometimes if you change presets too fast. Otherwise, it is a very great application. Preset 6 is techno. Preset 7 is All Dave Matthews. That's for my friend Christina. Preset 8 is Awesome 80s. I do love 80s music. Preset 9 is Mixtapes. And preset 10 is Late Night Mix. Those last two were usually for college during our parties and whatnot. And it's a Stream Desk, an application more people need to use. This basically allows you to view live broadcasts and streams on Ustream.tv as well as other popular streaming services, but within the application itself without having to open a web browser. For instance, if I would go to live.perillo.com, Chris Perillo is probably there in his chair doing work. He might not be. Yes, he's not. And there you go. Great application, and again, that's free. QuickTime Player. This is version, I guess you could call it 10, which I don't understand because the version before this was QuickTime 7. So I don't know if they're calling it QuickTime X, but then again, I'm against people. I am against the idea of calling it OS X, so I doubt it's QuickTime X. I don't know. But yes, here's a new QuickTime Player. And I will open a recent file I used, and I'll give you a preview of the interface. This is a movie of mine, and there you go. Great times. And as you can see, when I mouse away, it's borderless. Beautiful app. Awesome. MPEG Stream Clip. I don't use this for my own reasons, usually. I mainly use this for a client when I have to convert files for YouTube editing. But it's awesome, it's free, and it works great. iMovie. The first file you'll probably see is for a client. And then here's the Mountain Dew footage I did. And room tour. Yes, I do not have many files in iMovie 2009 because I do not choose to keep the raw files because they take up a lot of space. However, I do have all of my things backed up. For instance, movies, and then I have exported, and those are all my videos. So, there you go. Then iPhoto. I'm not sure what pictures are going to show. Let's hope it's nothing too embarrassing. And those are some videos and pictures I still have to import from my iPhone. I'll do that later. I'm kind of behind on that. Photo Booth. Everyone knows what Photo Booth is. It's a great application for your friends and family to have fun, to basically take random pictures. It's actually over here on my secondary monitor. There you go. Just some random pics on the bottom and stuff like that. Oh, and there's me. There's me talking. Alright, and there's Stan behind me. Alright. Next up is Preview. Nothing's going to pop up because you have to open something first for an order to pop up. Very basic application, but it works great. Photoshop CS3. This should launch pretty quick since I had it open earlier. Yeah, it's already loaded into memory. There's Photoshop. I'll open up a recent document I had. Actually, I don't really have to open anything. It's nothing too interesting. I'll close that. Illustrator CS3. Takes a little while to launch, but what can you do? It is a great application if you're into graphic design. Takes a little while. I'm not in Illustrator that often, but it is an awesome application. InDesign, I'm rarely in this app. I don't even know why it's on my dock. But it is another great app if you're into page layout and composition, design, all that good stuff. And for any graphic designers out there, I'm pretty sure you know what InDesign is. It's practically the industry standard. It took over Quartz. Quartz. I'm sorry, Quark. Quartz is Apple's 3D software, I think it's called. And then we have Dreamweaver. which isn't that great of an application because I've kind of moved on to editing code myself. But this is a great application to edit things on the fly and to see a real-time preview. Text edit, I use this multiple times a day for notes and whatever else. Word, 2004. Launch that real quick. Yes, it's not the newest version, and yes, an error launches every time. I really wish it would launch by default at 120% because that's my preferred view. And there you go. And finally, system preferences, which holds the preferences for everything you need to know. And as well, a new feature of Snow Leopard is if you right-click the system preferences dock icon without it being open first, you can now see a preview list of everything. So for instance, if I wanted to change my microphone settings on the fly, I would just right-click system preferences, go to sound, and then I would change it right there. Great feature. And finally, there's screen flow. I'm using that to record right now. And then nothing in my download stack. So that's it. If you want this wallpaper, it's actually included within Snow Leopard. So if you go in yours, actually if you change your desktop background, it's right there under nature in case you're wondering. So there you go. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Take care.